Those are the headlines that we're tracking for you at this hour. This is the show where our team at CNBC TV 18 gets you the top stories of the day. I'm Arundhati Ramanan and you're watching Reporter's Diary. Let's go straight to all the action from Dalal Street, where the market continues to tread higher, and this was led by a fall in crude prices and a weakening dollar. After a strong start, the Nifty faced resistance at the 10,600 mark, but that index still managed to end with gains of 70 points. The Sensex rallied about 300 points, reclaiming that 35,000 mark. Bank Nifty ended with gains of more than 200 points, while the mid-caps continued their up move. That index rallied more than 1.5% to reclaim the 17,000 mark. Anuj Singhal joins us now with a wrap of all the trading action. Anuj, bulls have started to reclaim lost ground now.
Well, good day for the markets once again. It's a combination of lower crude prices and the rupee-dollar equation, which is really helping. Today, for example, it really did. And what's interesting is that for the last many days now, mid-caps are outperforming. Advance decline is consistently in favor of advances, so things looking good. Today, a lot of corporate banks did well. SBI, ICICI, Axis, Reliance did well. HDFC was higher. Mahindra & Mahindra was higher as well. On the losing side, you had Indiabulls Housing Finance, despite good numbers. So the market believes perhaps backward-looking numbers might be good, but growth might be a bit of a problem. Eicher Motors and JSW Steel were other losers. Stock of the day today was Federal Bank. Big gains after the numbers. Even South Indian Bank did well, but Federal, of course, is much larger in comparison. In the F&O space, a lot of crude sensitives were gaining. So Jet Airways, Indigo, beaten down stocks like Escorts and Tata Elxsi made a huge comeback. On the losing side, you had names like Tata Communications, DHFL and Infibeam. All in all, you'll have to say that the texture of the market has changed from a sell-on rally to buy on dips. Let's see whether the Nifty can now make a move towards the 20 DMA of 10,800.
So another good day for the bulls. Thank you so much for those details, Anuj. Now let's take a look at how crude oil prices are doing right now. Prices rose in early trade today as Iranian oil exports fell in September ahead of US sanctions that are set to begin in November. But crude has given up those gains, with Brent now trading over 0.5% in the red at $80 a barrel mark, while NYMEX is also down 0.8% at $71.21 per barrel mark as we speak. And moving on, the rupee ended the day stronger at 73.46 to the dollar after closing at 73.83 yesterday. The rupee strengthened owing to weakness in the dollar and also following the drop in crude prices. And in a bid to meet the ambitious 80,000 crore rupee divestment target, the government is planning to take the buyback route. A government official told CNBC TV 18 that the centre is readying a plan to the tune of 20,000 crore rupees. Sapna Das is here with more details. Sapna, how many PSUs could be involved in this buyback plan?
Well, we're clearly given to understand that probably the government may be looking at a close approximation of 20,000 crores as far as the buyback plan is concerned. We're given to understand that there is a clear-cut strategy on that front. Also, 8 to 10 buybacks are under discussion with various PSU boards. Now, some of them have already been finalized. That's what we're given to understand, probably like NALCO, like NLC, like, smaller companies like KIOCL, probably even NMDC on the cards. But within this buyback program, oil sector is definitely something that the government is looking at very closely. We are also given to understand that not too much of a stress as far as the ONDC is concerned, because, crude realizations have been pretty high so far, so the company has gained on that ground. There could be some debt overhang as far as the HPCL acquisition of last year is concerned, but that also is expected to be kind of absorbed by the company over a period of time. Also, there is absolutely no question of any subsidy sharing mechanism which will involve the upstream companies. So net, it's a huge positive for the upstream oil sector as far as they are concerned. Possibly some kind of a similar commentary for the downstream companies, but all in all, oil sector is an important part of the entire buyback program the government is right now talking about. So 20,000 crores is what they are targeting. I suppose over the next couple of weeks, more clarity will emerge once the respective board nods come in.
Right, Sapna. Thank you so much for those details. Now, the shares of cable TV providers Hathway Cable and Den Networks saw a surge today. This after sources told CNBC TV 18 that Reliance Industries is planning to buy controlling stake in these companies. Now, the announcement of this deal is expected by tomorrow. Nisha Podar, who has been tracking that story, joins us now with the details. Nisha, tell us, how will this deal add value to Jio's arsenal?
The cable TV sector has been itching for consolidation, and Reliance Industries with its RelJio is the new entrant which is acting as a consolidator. Sources with direct knowledge share with us that Reliance Industries could be announcing the buyout of both DEN Networks as well as Hathway Cable along with its results on October 17th, and the structure will be such that first it will be a controlling stake buyout into the company through fresh equity issuance, which will then trigger an open offer. So Reliance Industries could land up owning over 70% stake in both DEN and Hathway. It is likely to be around the current market price and may not have much of a premium to it, is what we gather. As far as impact is concerned, Reliance Jio will gain in two ways. First, the subscriber base, access to 20 million subscribers. On the other hand, the last mile connectivity is also extremely critical, which comes with DEN as well as Hathway, who have a right of way. Also remember that their subscriber base are premium subscribers, and therefore the ARPUs will also improve. But one thing to remember is that most of their subscribers are on video TV basis and not high-speed broadband, and that's the area which Reliance Jio will look at really beefing up. So that will be gradual, will need a technological change from the present technology that these companies use, and also by integrating the service offering to their various consumers as well. But nonetheless, it is going to beef up their overall portfolio and the larger base, and this is going to turn on the heat on the competitors like Airtel, Tata Sky as well as Dish TV.
Absolutely. So Reliance may acquire DEN and Hathway. Thank you so much for those details, Nisha. Hero MotoCorp has just come out with its second quarter earnings, and it's flashing on your screen. Net profit stands at 976 crore rupees versus an estimate of 920 crore rupees, while revenue has come in at 9,091 crore rupees versus an estimate of 8,963 crore rupees. Let's go across to Sonia Shenoy for further analysis. Sonia, how are these numbers looking?
Well, you know, the numbers operationally are largely in line with what the street was estimating. So if you look at the operational performance, the margins have come in at 15.2%, which is absolutely in line with estimates. The EBITDA as well has come in at a little under 1,380 odd crores, 1,378 crores to be precise. If you look at it, you know, that is a downtick of almost 200 basis points on a year-on-year basis for the margin. Now, this may look like a disappointment, but it was expected because commodity costs have gone up, and the company has not been able to pass on all of the commodity costs in the form of price hikes. They have undertaken price hikes, but it could not offset the higher commodity costs, and hence the margins have been under pressure. However, this was largely known, so there's no great negative surprise in the numbers. Even if you look at the top line, you had mentioned that the top line has come in at about 9,091 odd crores. That is slightly better than what the street was estimating. 8,960 crores was the expectation. So it's a growth of almost about 9%, which is on expected line, because the volume growth that the company has reported is about 5.5%. But they undertook price hikes, because of which their realizations are better than the volume growth. So all in all, you'd have to say that these numbers are largely in line. No surprises either way. Decent top-line growth. Margins have been under pressure because of higher commodity costs, and bottom line largely in line with expectations. In any case, the stock has priced in the margin disappointment. It's down 25% in 2018. So I don't expect too much of a movement on the stock in trade tomorrow. Back to you.
All right, Sonia, thank you so much for those details. So Hero MotoCorp coming out with an inline set of numbers for its second quarter. CNBC TV 18 exclusive, American e-commerce giant Amazon is set to pick up 8% stake in India's future retail. Sources say that the deal is expected to be announced within 2 weeks. Priya Sheth has all the details. Priya, what are you picking up about the likely deal contour?
Well, after 8 months of negotiation, we understand that the future retail Amazon deal has entered its last lap. Now, the deal is likely to be signed over the next 2 weeks, is what our sources tell us. Now, tech giants, including the likes of Google and Paytm, had expressed interest to buy a stake as far as future retail goes, but Amazon is likely to have emerged as a front runner, is what our sources tell us. Now, just to give you a specific on the deal, about 7 to 8% is likely to be the kind of stake Amazon is looking to buy as far as future retail is concerned. concerned. And the companies are in final stages of preparing an agreement. They could also look at including some exclusivity clauses as a part of this overall agreement. Valuations will be decided closer to the deal signing, but of course the deal is definitely going to be a part cash, part stock deal is what we are given to understand. Now, as far as the synergies of the deal are concerned, it could be a win-win for both the companies. As far as Amazon is concerned, they could look at setting up a separate microsite for future retail brands, while Amazon experience zones could be set up in several of the future retail stores across the country. In fact, we did reach out to the companies concerned, and future retail did not respond to our query, while Amazon said that it did not want to comment as far as our query is concerned.
Right, Priya, thank you so much for those details. In fact, weeks before this news break, Future Group's Kishore Biyani had hinted at a potential tie-up with a global company. With Walmart and Flipkart joining hands, Biyani said it's imperative to have a strong balance sheet, and also went on to say that he is open to a partnership with a global retail company. Take a look.
I don't know what will happen, but ecosystems will get formed. Whether it will be 3, 4...
So you're not averse to the idea?
Nobody is averse to any idea. Money is welcome.
Earlier you used to be. Earlier
I never said money is not welcome.
No, you never said money was not welcome, but you always had an ambivalent attitude when it came to FDI.
I'm still very nationalistic on everything.
You're very nationalistic on everything, but you're open to partnering with an Amazon if it comes down.
I think in this business, if you don't have a good and a strong balance sheet, you don't win.
Moving on, it is not going to be an easy road for the Fortis IHH deal, as the Competition Commission of India has raised red flags about the deal structure. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV 18's Yash Jain, the chairperson of CCI, Sudhir Mittal, has said that approval delay will have an economic impact. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
The Commission has been quite conscious of the fact that delays, if any, have economic impact on the parties, and so we would not wish to keep it for long, one way or the other. Either we approve it, or in case we have concerns, we tell the parties that these are the concerns that you need to answer.
From what you've been studying the entire model, do you see concerns at this point of time as we talk?
As of now, there appear to be some concerns. Well, we are in constant discussions, and they have given their reply, so let's see. I mean, it may not be proper for me to be commenting till such time as we've taken a decision.
Okay. If you could throw some light on the kind of concerns, not going into the details, but what are broadly these concerns?
The way the markets work is, and the health sector is, that you have the primary market, you have the secondary market, you have the tertiary market, and then you have the super specialty market.
Right.
So it's basically the concerns are not in the primary market or the secondary market or the tertiary market. If concerns, as we perceive them, probably would be in the super specialty market.
The Commission had raided a few premises of some of the breweries, very famous breweries. Help me understand, what was the line of thought? What are the points of suspicion as far as these companies are concerned, and how far has the whole inquiry and understanding gone on the Commission's part?
What I can only mention at this point of time, that we had a feeling that these companies are or have cartelized in terms of tenders to the government, and that's what we really wanted to investigate.
And how far is...
Well, the dawn raids have been conducted, material has been collected, so I think there should be enough till now.
What is the essential case as far as Monsanto is concerned, and where do you see this moving going forward?
What Monsanto had said was that the Commission could not investigate the conduct of the directors at the same time as it was investigating the conduct of the company.
Right.
So the court, of course, has said that no, the Commission is free to conduct under Section 48 to simultaneously conduct an inquiry.
Right. And what stage is the inquiry, and how does it flow from here?
It's before the Director General.
Let's take a look at some of the other headlines that we're tracking for you today. Delhi's Patiala House Court is set to hear Union Minister M.J. Akbar's petition against journalist Priya Ramani on the 18th of October. Akbar, who was accused of sexual harassment amid the raging Me Too campaign, had filed a private defamation complaint against Ramani on Monday. With less than 24 hours before the Sabrimala shrine in Kerala is open to women, scores of protesters have taken to the street, with devotees joining the campaign save Sabrimala. The state has been witnessing a series of protests from Congress, BJP and many religious organizations demanding the Supreme Court to review its September 28th verdict. Devotees who are against the Supreme Court order were seen stopping women from travelling to the shrine. UP's Yogi Adityanath government has rechristened Allahabad as Prayagraj. The state's cabinet has passed a resolution to effect the name change. Remember, there was a proposal from Akhara Parishad to rename the city ahead of 2019 Kumbh. The opposition parties had objected to the proposal. The city's name had been changed from Prayagraj to Allahabad during the Mughal rule. The National Green Tribunal has imposed a fine of 50 crore rupees on the Delhi government. The fine has been slapped for not taking action against polluting steel pickling units in residential areas. The tribunal has also asked the Delhi government to shut these units with immediate effect. And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Reporter's Diary. Many thanks for watching, but stay tuned to CNBC TV 18. Coming up next, exclusive interviews with the big voices of oil and gas sector from the CIRA Week India Energy Forum. Stay tuned for that.